This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard with you for the next 3 hours live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. A lot of reaction to the games that we had over the weekend. Monday Night Football preview several times. Divisional round numbers that we like. Great guest today, as always. Nick Whalen coming up in 30 minutes. Mike DeFabo, who covers the Steelers in Pittsburgh for The Athletic. He's going to be on the show. And Warren Sharp a little bit later on. We have Do You Concur? And, man, I would say this, right? The regular season, is, as we talked about a lot down the stretch on this program, maybe like in the conversation for the best, most dramatic, entertaining that we've had that we can remember. And that did not disappoint, and that continued to be a thing on Saturday and Sunday for the first 4 games anyway. And I think a couple of stats point to that. Bill Adie had this today in the VSiN Daily, OptaStats, with a tweet last night. First time in NFL history, there were 4 games decided by 4 points or fewer in a single postseason round. And watching that Niners game yesterday against the Eagles, as that was completely unfolding, and you're like, how the hell is this going to play out? Philadelphia had the ball trailing at the 2-minute warning. Teams with the lead at the 2-minute warning started 0-3 in the playoffs, and the Niners had to cling to life to win that game.
And get the stop. Yep. And all the lead changes. We had tied a record in a couple games for the lead changes in the fourth quarter. It was incredible. I don't think you can top that.
No, I don't think so either.
It was stunning what happened. And then still it was a mess. And it was a beautiful mess Sunday night with the Charger game, where you're thinking 9-3, 9-6 might win this game. We might not have a touchdown. So to start with the Rams game, and then Saturday night the Bears do it again, the Cardiac Kids, and set the record, 7 wins when trailing in the final 2 minutes, 14-1 in play. And then it just carried over to the Bills game and the 49er game. Unbelievable. I can't. And it was just, for that to get an A+ after all those games, what a weekend.
Did you see this on that Bears note? NFL teams all time to score 25-plus points in the fourth quarter / overtime of a playoff game to overcome a 15-plus point deficit. The Patriots against the Falcons in the Super Bowl, and the Bears on Saturday night.
There you go.
That's it. That's your list. Yep. Greg Harvey, excellent observation there.
Yep. LaFleur does it again, and the Packers do it again. An all-time melt.
And they want to bring him back.
Yep. 21-3 at halftime, getting the ball. Full breakdown later in the show. You can't bring them back. You can't. But common sense says, no, you can't do it. But that is just a horrible way to end a season, a 5-game losing streak, and you spit that up. And you go from going right down the field 3 times, 21-3. You had 29 yards in the next 4 drives coming out of halftime.
I know.
Come on.
That's unacceptable, and they did it again.
That's right.
And I'll ask you another one. Are we sure Nick Sirianni's a good football coach?
Will they bring him back? That's another one.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
That's a tough call for Lurie. I mean, the fact that Warren Sharp made some good points yesterday, that he was stubborn. He had his buddy calling plays. They were broken early on. They never fixed it. It never improved. The fighting. And still you wouldn't make a change at OC. And that's how you went out. And he was stubborn, and it cost him. And it cost him a season.
They fizzled out pretty much. But that's, I mean, the writing was on the wall, right?
Did you watch a halftime show?
No, I did not.
I thought they actually made a good point that backfired. If you're the head coach, you cannot come at your volatile star player like that with A.J. Brown. And he came back and yelled at him. And then guess what? Right. He went 2 quarters without a target. And then he dropped the big one over the middle.
Huge.
So I know Sirianni's like, you can't cry and complain, give me the ball. And then we throw it to you and you drop it.
And the reason why I want to ask that today, and it's been kicked around before, obviously, but there is a chance here that Philadelphia's success has been their most success, by the way. 2 Super Bowl runs in the last, 4 years now, was when that guy had really good coordinators. Steichen calling plays offensively.
Yes.
Jonathan Gannon was the DC. Last year with Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio. You saw the drop-off at OC this year and how many problems they continued to have from week 1 all the way till the game was over with last night. And he probably has the best GM in football.
Yep.
Right? They put together, and they've had that roster at the very top of the league in terms of most overall talent at like every single position for 4 years now, or one of the best teams overall when it comes to roster construction. So I don't know if the guy's a good coach or not. Like, if he took over the Raiders next year, would he turn them into a playoff team within 4 years? I don't know.
That's too bad. They wasted a great defense.
Oh, they did.
It was a wasted season.
And look at the talent on offense.
I know. They should still be playing. You can't lose that game. Kittle goes out. The defense did let you down. Blankenship was terrible. The trick play should not work. And Robinson can't get behind you. And Jennings can't get behind you. And Purdy turned it over twice, and you still lost the game.
I know. Well, credit Kyle Shanahan, man. The job that he has done this year, and then they lose Kittle on top of everything else. My God.
How about that story? Jed York comes down, the owner. Can I get you anything? What can I do for you? Bottle of tequila, please.
Yeah.
Sends it down. Gone.
He
drank the whole thing.
Yeah.
Drank Patron. Take that sucker down. And he still wins the game. So it's the same stuff, though. The offense was pathetic. Hurts couldn't make any big plays.
Yeah.
I only saw one design run. You get Barkley going. You had Smith and Brown with the drops. And then Elliott missed an extra point, which was big. And the defense, which had been so good, also let him down with a couple
huge plays right out of the
moments.
gates by San Francisco.
Yeah, you can't give that up to start the game.
No.
And you can't give up. You can't just stop running and give up on McCaffrey on the trick play.
True.
But this is the story.
That was bad.
Yeah, this is the story of the season. Jennings completed more passes longer than 15 yards yesterday than Hurts did. That's the story of the season.
And he also has as many touchdown passes in his career in the playoffs as Justin Herbert.
Oh, boy.
There's did you see the tweets, by the way, on this Philadelphia game from Dan Orlovsky, ESPN?
This is good. This is a big indictment of Sirianni. Yes, this is excellent.
So Philadelphia ran 10 plays on their final offensive series. 4 of those 10 were repeat plays from the same drive.
Yep.
So they were making it as easy as possible for the 49ers.
Right. And we can all agree. You cannot call a timeout in that situation.
That's
he terrible.
Doing?
The game then comes down to one play, and if you miss, it's over. Still, if they get a stop, you still have a chance because you have all three. That better be the best play you can design, and you've been sitting on that for months, and it was crap. You can't call a timeout there.
You know what kind of play that was? To your point, that was the play at 2 a.m. when you've had 14 drinks and you're looking across the bar and you see, oh, boy, she's pretty hot. And then the next day you wake up, you're like, oh, boy, that was the alcohol talking.
Yep.
That was the play. That was not a good play.
Yeah. I wouldn't even be opposed to kicking the field goal there and then trying onside or trying to get another stop with 3 timeouts because it's just to be 4th and 11, their chances to pick it up were slim and none. And he calls a timeout on top of it, and then that ended the game.
Yep. This is from email is always open, fteam@vsin.com. Mike on the Eagles, they don't have an NFL head coach or quarterback one. I mean, Hurts was the Super Bowl MVP last year. He was also amazing in the Super Bowl 3 years ago against the Chiefs. And also this is from Jeff as an Eagles fan. His theory, same thing. Best 2 years came with the coordinators that were really, really good, as we just ran down. So he and I are on the same page with that.
Well, for him not to make a change was unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
They were just a mess all year on offense.
Paul, it was the same story every single week. It's like, how many times do we have to watch this movie?
Yeah.
Give me the times that they looked really good. Second half against the Rams. I would say the Vikings game, they were really good.
Yeah.
Is that the list?
Yeah. He also does a lot of stupid stuff, like going for it at midfield in a tight game, opting to kick long field goals, all the other business. But when we talk about these games every week and moving forward, there needs to be a 3-minute discussion on a coach who could lose his mind. And you rank them. And we kick it around about could this coach lose his mind. All the good what Liam Cohen did, out the window. How he lost his mind yesterday. The Bills are 28th against the run. They're 31st in EPA per play against design runs. Your guy rootin' tootin' on the first touchdown drive. 20-yard gain. Next play. 14-yard gain. Next play. 13-yard gain. 1 carry the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Tootin and Etienne had 14 for 118. Yet he's slinging it around with an erratic Trevor Lawrence. Time and time again. You can gash Buffalo all day with the rush game, and then they did it and went right down the field, and he didn't do it again.
Yeah, and the strength to Buffalo's defense clearly is the passing side of it, where it's very difficult to pass on them, and you can run all day long. And that was unfolding like that, but also they had, think about this, I mean, Little hooks the 54-yarder.
Big.
That looked like that was going to be good.
Yep.
And my God, the 12-minute review I think that we had for the Trevor Lawrence scramble, was it a first down or not? Originally called the first down, and they have to go to the replay assist. Where was it at overall? And they found that he was a little bit short. If he doesn't stumble like that, Or the knee, I guess, is a little bit short when it's a completely different ball game.
Yeah, I know, but we talked about yesterday, are we going to get the old Trevor Lawrence? And we did.
We did a little bit.
With the 2 interceptions. Yep.
Yeah, that was not great. The one tip, though, at the very end wasn't his fault. But.
Yeah, but that's the interception early on. He was high on a lot of throws. He was off, and you coming out and you're going to throw on him. When the game plan should be run at will.
And there's also this, by the way, from the game. You knew, or you thought going in, the Bills were going to have a tough time running the football, and they did.
Yes.
Allen didn't do much on the ground. 2 touchdowns, I get that, but yardage, I wasn't really there. Cook, 46 yards. He led the league at 46 yards on 15 carries. And I'm taking absolutely nothing away from Josh Allen. He had guys running wide open the entire game. Wide open. So either that's great scheme by the Bills or a terrible job with their assignments on the Jacksonville side. And also, you can't score a touchdown there with a minute left. You got to take more time off the clock. That was going to come back and bite McDermott in the ass yet again. You got to do something there. You're not going to stop. You're not stopping Josh Allen in the tush push 3 times in a row.
Yep.
That's not happening.
Yeah. Where's all the anti-tush push people there? You can't, as an offensive lineman, pick the guy up and carry him 10 yards. Mm-hmm. That's absurd.
Oh, I know it is.
The Eagles don't do that.
But also, Jacksonville gave up on the play, I thought. Yeah. Maybe they were letting him try to score on that play. Here you go. Here's what it looks like.
Look at this. Play's over. Blow the whistle. Then they keep going. The offensive lineman's got him in a bear hug, and he pulls him down to the 1-yard line.
Yep.
And so the Bills voted against the tush push. It saved their season.
Sure it did. The reason why they're moving on. I actually have a feeling that was the AFC title game.
This Buffalo nonsense can't continue.
Oh, it will. It's going to this weekend.
Denver beats them.
We will move into Monday Night Football and the divisional round. And Angle is now 12-3 ATS over the past decade, and it applies tonight. Find out the details next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Laptop or phone, couch or sportsbook, VSiN goes where you go. Wherever you watch VSiN, the experience stays seamless. Live shows, replays, and sports-specific clips all at your fingertips. VSiN Watch puts you in the driver's seat. Available in Roku, Samsung, Amazon, iOS, Android, app stores, or get it direct from the source at VSiN.com. Download VSiN Watch today on your favorite app store and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Responsible sports betting starts with a game plan. That means stick to a budget. Keep it social by playing with friends. Learn the game and know the odds. Play with trusted legal operators. And if you need help, reach out. If you're getting in on the action, visit haveagameplan.org to learn more.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
One more game to go, wild card weekend. The Monday Nighter in Pittsburgh. Texans, a 3-point favorite. Various juice out there across the odds screen. Total 38 or 38.5. So home playoff dogs over the weekend. They went 2-0. They were both on Saturday against the spread. Home playoff dogs since 2016 are 12-3 ATS, covering by 11 points per game. Home teams, 3-2 ATS so far this weekend, 19-10 ATS over the last 5 years. Underdogs. Now this goes back, these games are over with already, but we said this on Friday and on Sunday. We'll bring it up again here to grade them. Underdogs last 32 NFC wildcard games, 22-9-1, 3-0 this weekend. Pretty good. Wildcard road favorites went 0-2 ATS. You have one tonight, obviously. That is 8-15-1 ATS since 2008.
Both 3-6 matchups stayed under. 22-5-1 under run. How about that?
Yeah.
That came in. So it's a team that's never won a road playoff game against a team that's won 23 in a row on Monday night. Of course the Steelers are going to win. Mark it down. And the old man will be going to New England in primetime Sunday night.
Is that what's going to happen?
I believe so. Just because this doesn't make any sense. Divine intervention. You got the priest out there with the holy water. This should be Baltimore. Somehow they blew it. And here come the Steelers. And this is fascinating from a prop standpoint that you're going against the number one defense. And these wide receivers could hit their prop on one catch. MVS, 11.5. Thielen, 10.5. Guru making the case anytime for Thielen. You got the Hayward tush-push angle. First, any. 2, 80-1 for 2.
But here's the thing.
6-1, anytime.
Look how red hot Kenneth Gainwell has been because Rodgers loves him.
Right.
And now there was a moment in time not that long ago where Kenneth Gainwell, his prop was 2.5 catches and like 16.5, 18, 19 yards. It's 4.5 and in the 30s tonight. But that's what happens when, hey, jury's out. Rodgers loves a guy and he's going to throw it to him 11 times in a game. Now, every number here screams Houston's better and should beat them.
Right.
Every single possible number.
So did Baltimore, both meetings.
Sure. But I also, there's a part of me here that's like, I don't want to get involved with this nonsense that we get from the Steelers all the time.
Yeah. Stroud probably implodes. It's a silly turnover, and they win 16-13.
Sure.
Something funky. It's the ultimate kicking game. It's Will Hill Caesars, field goal every quarter is plus 375. Fairbairn, 27-3 overrun. He's $1.90. And Boswell's $1.50. And again,
you want Boswell too?
Yeah. I bet Boswell too. You can also get creative, and if you want to go over 3.5, 4, each guy to have 3, all that stuff too. But this is incredible with Fairbairn. He set the record this year for most field goals. Excuse me, they have the most field goals in the league, 44. Every game's gone over this year but one, and then last week he made 6, and he's been going over in the first quarter in a lot of these games too. So it's unfortunate we go from plus money to minus $1.90, but when you're on a 27-3 run, that's the way it goes.
Let me give you some other books here and where they have them priced. DK actually has Fairbairn now at minus 225. BetMGM has him at minus 220. Sleeper has minus 256. Actually, wow. If you want to climb the ladder, Hard Rock and I think Bet365, you can go pretty high on these kickers. Hard Rock has over 2.5 plus 140. Just want to do that? Is this like the 3-point prop that we see in basketball? Hey, guys are averaging 4.3 made threes for the first month of the season, and they were 2.5 plus money the entire time. Now books adjust, make it 3.5 minus money.
Yeah.
But go 2.5 plus money, plus 140 on him. I think there's an angle where this game could be a repeat almost of what happened last night, meaning the no touchdowns in play late. And it is defensive.
I was going to ask you, could you see a high-scoring game?
No, I can't.
You can't see it?
No, I can't.
Can't Stroud make big plays in the after what Baltimore did?
I think that he can, yeah, but can Pittsburgh match them?
Yes.
I don't know if they can.
I think they can have success throwing the ball down the field if they protect them. Come on now. We saw what Pierce did against them and Riley Leonard. We saw what the Raiders did against them.
Yeah, but I don't remember.
I think there's a lot to be said that every game has been a playoff game for them. 9 in a row. Can they keep this going? And it's also where you're just going to have an off game or you let go of the rope. And those have been some bad performances defensively down the stretch for the Texans, which we hadn't seen all year.
Let's not forget what the Steelers looked like in a must-have game at the time against the Browns a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. They did not exactly look too hot on offense. They didn't do anything. They looked totally broken in that game.
Well, you got Metcalf back, though. Man, makes a big difference. So now, and I'm on the same page now with Thielen and MVS and the dump-offs to Gainwell, which should not work, but they continue to work. I can get Pat involved. I could see a situation where he throws for 250 yards and they win the game, and he goes on to New England. And we're sitting here, it's like, my God, I can't get you on board. But at some point, you got to get on board. That the fact that they could do this, and these guys could be in the AFC title game,
well, Pittsburgh?
And we're going to be livid.
Well, here's the thing. You should take them at 40-1 then, right now.
They're not getting much respect, I'll tell you
that.
You
should, because
they are tonight, though. This was 4.5.
Okay.
Now it's 3 plus 3 minus 120.
I will ask you this, though, right, about the Patriots. If you're New England sitting at home tonight watching this game, if you ask every single person in that room who they want to play, the answer is obvious. They want a rematch with Pittsburgh. They don't want anything to do with this Texans team.
Yeah, Drake May did not look good last night.
Oh, no, and I still have no idea if they're any good or not. I mean,
that's true.
The Chargers' offensive line, again, my God, Justin Herbert, the fact that he's still alive today is surprising.
Yeah, Greg Roman's got to go, too.
Terrible. The play calling at and near the goal line last night was just an abomination by the Chargers. So bad. I couldn't even believe what I was watching. Now I have to rethink. You're right, though. Greg Roman there. But Harbaugh allowing that stuff to happen, terrible job out of the Chargers last night.
The Patriots are 26th in sacks. They look like the 85 Bears.
I know it.
You couldn't figure out the stunts and what they were doing?
No answer for it the entire game.
How about the substitution crap? You're down 2 scores. You can't let 40 seconds keep going off the clock. Vrabel put Harbaugh in a straitjacket.
He did. It was. We said going into it, no coaching edge. It played out like there was a massive coaching edge last night.
He dominated them.
He absolutely did. I will point out, Steve Mackin and VSiN.com, great numbers on this game tonight. Over the years, 4 seeds are now 24-15 straight up, but 25-12-2 ATS over the last 19 wildcard seasons. Panthers didn't win, coulda, woulda, shoulda. They did cover. You have Pittsburgh fitting that bill tonight. And as he wrote at the website, nothing else considered, in blanket wagering, the number 4 AFC seed has been the best home betting option of the 4 choices, going 13-7 straight up and 14-6 ATS 70% over the last 20 years. That includes Houston's upset over the Chargers last year, 32-12. And in wild card games expected to be tight, with lines in the +3 to -3 range for the home teams, under is on a run of 22-11-1, 66.7%. Now, the over got there in the Bears game. The under did get there in the Bills game yesterday, and then you have the game going tonight that also qualifies.
So what if it's 27-10 Houston? Then what? That's 7 straight playoff losses for Tomlin. Then what? Well, hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. The fans okay with this? This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're supposed to be in the mix for title games. The AFC title. Say what you want. I think he was very overrated, but at least Cowher could get the AFC title game. He would blow it at home. But Cowher got there time and time again. Tomlin can't even win a playoff game now.
I'll give you another one, too. You brought this up all week long. If the Eagles get off to a slow start, could that be a home field disadvantage? Well, there isn't a team in history who's gotten off to slower starts in playoff games than the Pittsburgh Steelers. In fact, they have been outscored in their last 6 playoff losses by a combined score of 73-0 in the first quarter. And they have failed to score more than 7 points in a first quarter in 69 straight games. So that is a massive problem getting out of the gates. And that could come into play tonight again. Like if it starts slowly, the Boo Birds are going to come out at some point with the team. And that's a typical, that's been a bit, Cousin Sal talked about that all the time. Mm-hmm. The Steelers double result, losing at halftime to win the game outright.
Yeah.
Tomlin is a master of that.
Yep.
So, but I also don't know if I want to lay a half a point in the first quarter with the Texans.
This is being priced like it's the number 1 offense against the number 1 defense against the number 2 defense, and there's weather. That's how this is being priced. He's going to throw to these guys, go shotgun, and spread it around. Thielen 11.5, MVS 11.5, Gainwell low 30s.
Yeah, and Metcalf is probably going to have Stingley the entire game.
That's right.
So that's going to open up some of those guys you just talked about.
And Pat low 30s, right? The only guy that goes on, look at Austin, who had the big touchdown last week. He's also low.
And for the Texans, by the way, like Nico Collins should eat in this game a lot.
He should. I like Higgins, too. Yes. Yeah. It's a big game for Stroud, too. He's not had a good year.
No.
But there should be shots. Sunday night, and also what they did against the Chargers. You have got to throw the ball deep.
I totally agree.
And he's got to hit on some of these as well. And I think he will. We're getting ready for big game 60 with a big deal in the match. Save $60 off a VSiN Pro annual subscription when you sign up using promo code FTM. Become a VSiN Pro annual subscriber. Bet smarter all year long. Every best bet, every host, every guest. Big game deal. VSiN.com/subscribe. Promo code FTM. Save $60 off the annual subscription today. Waiting on the schedule because of this game. Because of the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. Because they want them in prime time if they win. Incredible, right?
Yeah. You can always, by the way, get in touch with the show on X, at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard. We will continue discussing the Monday night game, a look at the divisional round as well. Nick Whalen's going to pop on the program. We'll get his look at best bets coming up next year on VSiN.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
You have some breaking news in the NFL. Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis had the MRI today, torn ACL. Brutal news.
Tough. Are you surprised they're favored?
No, but I
You're
mean,
not?
with the injury, Radley's off. Go ahead.
No Ty Johnson, no Gabe Davis, no Palmer. Shavers got hurt. Poyer hurt. And Allen's playing with 5 injuries, too.
I bet him pick him as soon as it came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep. But I might tease Denver immediately up to like 7.5 as long as that number's available right now.
First time since 1971 we have 2 road favorites in the divisional round?
I'm sure that'll go well. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. We head out to the Progressive guest line now. Nick Whalen joins the program as he does every Monday, and he is with RotoWire. Nick, good afternoon. Let's begin with the game tonight as the Steelers are catching 3 points at home against the Houston Texans. Total high 30s. That's pretty much it in the game. Circa's at 38. What do you like between these two squads?
Yeah, I've leaned on the under more so than anything, and we're getting into uncomfortable territory there, guys, at 38.5. But my concerns extend beyond the Steelers' offense. I think that's one of the kind of low-hanging fruit talking points about this game is even with DK Metcalf back, how does Pittsburgh possibly move the ball on this Houston defense? I think they'll get creative. They'll find ways to have some level of success, but I don't trust that team in the red zone, and certainly they're going to have to find ways for both Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell to get creative to move the ball consistently. So one prop that I like here is Jaylen Warren over 1.5 catches. Put that in yesterday. We think of Gainwell as the primary receiving back for the Steelers, which is true. But Warren had 5 catches in the Baltimore game. I don't think the return of Metcalf really changes the approach all that much. Even when Metcalf has had some of his better games this season, it's been on relatively low volume. They kind of pick their spots with him. They try to hit big plays. He's not a 10, 11, 12 target type of number one receiver by any means. So I think we do see both of those backs involved tonight. But I have concerns about the Houston offense as well, guys. I mean, during this 9-game winning streak heading into the playoffs, they're 19th in offensive EPA. It is very hard to win 9 games in a row as a below average offense.
Well said. Absolutely. I mentioned earlier before you came on, we need to kick around the likelihood that a coach loses his mind. And I thought Cohen lost his mind, and you're a Jags guy. How do you abandon the run against a team that's 28th against the run, and you saw Tootin go right down the field when they gave it to him 3 straight plays and had 1 carry the rest of the game?
It's a fair question. That's a fair question, man. I think I felt the same. I didn't love the decision to basically put this game in the hands of Trevor Lawrence, who admittedly did lead 2 touchdown drives to begin the fourth quarter. So yeah, I think you could argue offensively, that the Jaguars were able to get by, despite the early turnover, despite not cashing in on a golden opportunity when the Bills fumbled in the kickoff, after that first Jaguars touchdown. Like that to me is what really lost them the game, coming away with no points there, missing the field goal before the half. But it wasn't like Trevor Lawrence was lighting up this defense. That's the thing. During this 8-game winning streak for the Jags, that had been the case. They actually weren't running the ball all that effectively, even against bad defenses. It was Trevor Lawrence, kind of playing hero ball and getting away with it. I thought early on, you could tell, like this was first half of the season, Trevor Lawrence. He had the 1 interception in the first half, could have had 2 or 3 more, and probably could have had like 5 or 6 throughout the game. I mean, there were deflected passes all over the place, balls hitting the ground, just before a Bills defender swooped in. So I personally did not see enough from Lawrence that I would have been comfortable relying on him as much as they were. And then, of course, when they have a minute 5 on that final drive, the old Trevor Lawrence shows up again and immediately throws a bad interception into traffic. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain because I think Liam Cohen certainly throughout his career has shown that he does want to lead on the run. He likes having multiple backs, and both ETN and Tootin were running it well. I mean, that's where you could beat this Bills defense. And, certainly if they could do it over again, I do think Liam Cohen would lean on that approach, but it just felt to me like the Jaguars were playing like they were down 10 instead of down 3 or 4 in the second half.
Yeah, well said. So then let's move it forward then. We open this segment talking about the Bills being a 1.5-point favorite now against the Broncos, and we rattled off the injuries as well. Any opinion on this game coming up over the weekend?
I will say I'm not surprised the Bills are favored because I just don't think Denver is getting a ton of respect. It's probably one of the worst 1 seeds that we've seen in a while. That Jacksonville game is still fresh in the mind. They were down multiple scores against Green Bay a couple of weeks before that. And even in week 18, when the Chargers are openly waving the white flag and playing all their backups, Denver still to some degree struggled in that game. So, we're carrying over the same Josh Allen versus the world narrative from the wild card round into the divisional. I think that still applies against Denver, but you guys mentioned it right before we hopped on. I mean, the injuries are piling up for this Bills team. And like, it shouldn't matter that much that Tyrell Shavers and Gabe Davis are injured, but it does. Like that's the point that we're at right now for the Buffalo Bills. And, Jacksonville, I thought, had a really poor game defensively. I think that secondary really missed Jordan Lewis. I don't know that you can necessarily depend on the same efficiency through the air from Josh Allen against that Denver defense. 28 of 35 for 273. I mean, you got the Josh Allen hero ball game. I think he can repeat that to some degree, but even Josh Allen himself picked up like 2 more minor injuries in the Jacksonville game. So I think Denver probably rightfully feels a little bit disrespected by that line.
Yeah, and I said this to open the show as well. Like, no disrespect to Josh Allen. Guy's probably the best player in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he had a great game yesterday. But man, every time he dropped back to pass, he had a guy open by 7-8 yards.
Oh my God.
And that probably
the
won't
amount
be
of 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 6. I mean, that was automatic for the Bills throughout that entire game. There were so many, all right, if the Jags can get a stop here type of plays, it felt like they could take control. And the third down defense was brutal. And it's not like Josh Allen was throwing into tight windows. Again, not to take anything away from him. He was fantastic yesterday, but the Jags coverage guys were just getting beat.
Yeah. Yep. Are we getting carried away with, have we been getting carried away with the Rams power rating? Almost lost to Carolina. Special teams, disaster. Can't stop. Here's the points they've allowed going back. 34 to Detroit, 38 to Seattle, 37 to Atlanta, 20 to Arizona, 31 to Carolina. Carolina 4 for 4 in the red zone.
I think maybe we are getting carried away. And if you had asked me, guys, coming into the weekend, who's your pick to come out of the NFC, it would still be the Rams. And it might still be the Rams because I do believe deep down this is the most well-rounded team in the NFL. And I think it does say something that even when they are making all those mistakes defensively and on special teams, that they can still come back and outscore you in a game where things aren't going their way. But this is twice now. You could argue that Bryce Young, who I am not a believer in whatsoever, has had his 2 best games of the season, 2 of the best games of his career against this defense. Like that is not a good sign. I was of the belief that the Rams would not have a letdown game here because of what happened during the regular season. And instead, this game played out to a very similar script. And they're lucky they didn't turn the ball over 3 times like they did in that regular season matchup. So if you're Chicago, considering how that game went on Saturday night, the juxtaposition between the first half and the second half, I still don't think you feel great about playing the Rams, but that defense does not look like it's at the same level that it was a month ago. And you will have the benefit of, the weather, the location, I think being in your favor. Like Matthew Stafford has not had a ton of success in these frigid games throughout his career.
Yeah. And then how about the other game in the NFC? So the Niners played on the East Coast last night, got back to the Bay Area past midnight this morning. And now they get to play the game on Saturday against Seattle, a team that just took them apart. And now the Seahawks are up to 7.5. Total here is 45.5.
Yeah, I totally understand, why this is moving where it is. The Kittle injury is just so brutal, right? It's like that is the last thing that you need if you're the 49ers, to be able to survive that Eagles game, losing Kittle in game, and then have to go, into Seattle, a team that just wiped the floor with you in week 18. I know the score didn't look all that dramatic, but I thought Seattle dominated that game to a degree that the final score did not show. And you have to do it without Kittle. So it's hard for me to see San Francisco, pulling off 2 consecutive games like that, where you're going up against an elite defense and you have to get enough stops defensively. At 7.5, though, is still interesting to me because of the Sam Darnold factor. Like I group Sam Darnold still in a similar category to Lawrence, where, yeah, you feel a lot better about him than you did a year or 2 ago. The last 2 regular seasons have been really impressive. There's still a lot of nights where I'm like, man, I don't know if I trust Sam Darnold right now. I don't know if I trust him in this one specific drive, and there will be plenty of drives like that in this game. So I think that's still that's kind of the one thing holding me back from going all in on Seattle is I'm not quite ready to put all my faith in Sam Darnold. We've seen too many slow starts from the Seattle team, especially over the last couple of months. I think the big key will ultimately be, can they run it nearly as effectively on that defense as they did in week 18? Because we could talk about the injuries all we want for San Francisco, but the way the run defense specifically held up against Philly, I thought was really impressive.
Sure. There is this, by the way. Shanahan, 4-0 ATS is a 3+ point dog in the playoffs. Nick, in about a minute here, do you have anything tonight that you like in the NBA?
Yeah, just a couple things in the NBA for me, guys. Taking a look at Tyrese Maxey, over 26.5 points going up against Toronto. It is a back-to-back. It's a rematch from last night. I do like this more if Joel Embiid is out again, but even if Embiid plays, Tyrese Maxey is still pretty clearly the number 1 option these days for the Sixers. He's cleared that number in 11 of his last 13 games, playing almost 40 minutes per game in that span. And then, we got to wait and see on Kawhi Leonard tonight. Clippers are taking on the Hornets. I did throw in James Harden over 25.5 points under the belief that this is like 3 or 4 games in a row now that Kawhi has been questionable. maybe he takes a seat tonight. It becomes a Harden show.
Okay. Very good, Nick. Pleasure talking to you as always. Best of luck tonight and this week. We appreciate it.
Thank you, fellas. Nick
Whalen, RotoWire. Follow him on X. He's at Whalen, but take out the letter L, put it with the numeral 1, WHA1EN on X, and he was on the Progressive guest line. All right. Does that number change in the Bills game with the injuries now? Does it go back to Pick'em? Because I noticed that one book opened up Denver. I think it was DK opened up Denver 1.5 yesterday.
I'm sure the Broncos are aware of the point spread. They won 13 of 14.
Mm-hmm.
And home dogs in the divisional round. I mean, this is incredible. You know, Peyton's got that on the bulletin board.
Win some, lose some. Next, Paul has details on a 50, 40, and a 25-1 that cashed.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Check out Stormy and JVT on Money Moves, only on VSiN.
And maybe that's why they wouldn't, because they're the Giants and they don't do things that make sense.
Out of all these divisions, this is the one that I am the most curious about because I do think there are positive signs for the Bears.
They'll take you on a fun, fast-paced journey, weaving in everything you need to know to make an educated bet, while also not shying away from the excitement of a same-game parlay sweat. Money Moves, weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, let's rock and roll. It was a great weekend. Let's start with the Rams and Panthers. First touchdown, Puka 6-1. Most receiving yards in the game, Coker 13-1. Anytime touchdown, Bryce Young plus 750. Parkinson plus 275. What a throw and a better catch. And how did he get in the end zone? Coker anytime plus 340. Alt over 55.5, 3-1. Puka 110 yards and a touchdown plus 265. Packers, Bears. Bleep the Packers, Ben Johnson says. Bears 14-1 in play. An NFL record. 7 wins when trailing with under 2 minutes left. A record that'll never be broken. What a team, what a story. First touchdown of the game, Watson 10-1. Will Hill Caesars. Over 200 different ways to bet these playoff games. 600 yards combined passing, 9-1. 650 plus, 17-1. Oh, Golden anytime, 8-1. Wow. Zacchaeus, 10-1. Missed extra point plus 280. 2-point conversion, 3-1. Bills Jags. Thomas first touchdown, 14-1. Parker Washington most receiving plus 340. I had him most of the week. They checked him for a concussion, right? He was out for a while, and he still put up those big numbers. Damn. Niners Eagles first touchdown. Robinson 25-1. Most receiving yards in the game, 50. I'm sure it was higher than that in some spots too. Some places didn't even offer it. 15-1. Both teams to score in the first quarter plus 130. Niners money line plus 220. Goddard 2 touchdowns, 15-1. Purdy 2 touchdowns and they win plus 440. The 3-6 matchups both went under. That's a 22-5-1 under run. Chargers Patriots first touchdown, Henry 10-1. Scoreless quarter, 3-1. Hello. Most receiving yards, Stevenson 50-1. Come on. Drake May most rushing 9-1.
Well, that 48-yard gain to Stevenson after the Chargers couldn't score at the goal line.
I know.
Just, a total killer.
How about the missed call before halftime?
Don't even get me started.
Huge play in the game. It's in front of everybody. They hit him right in the head.
Multiple referees are looking right at it. They don't call anything. In a stadium in which Brady got calls like that, way worse, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Come on, NFL. Clean it up.
Instead of having the ball at midfield, then they got a punt, and the Patriots had the halftime lead.
I will say I don't even agree with the call. I think it's a stupid rule, but they've called way worse than that for several years now. You can't be so inconsistent, man.
Missed extra points over the weekend, 1.5 plus 210 cash.
Wow.
It got there in the Niner game alone.
Yeah.
Friday night, what a doozy. Who's playing Signetti in the movie? Indiana, Oregon. First touchdown, Indiana defense 40-1.
Why not?
Are you going to say it? You can have Dante Moore. Not a good showing for Moore. You want to take him top 5? You want to take that guy top 5?
Yeah, go ahead. Be my guest.
All right. Anytime touchdown, 7-1. I didn't see what 5 paid. Mendoza 4 touchdowns.
I did.
It was 8-1. What was it?
It was a huge number. No, it was 30 or something.
Was it?
Big. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Alt line Indiana minus 10.5 plus 210. Most receiving yards in the semis, Marion 25-1. Macclesfield, 6th tier in soccer. Biggest upset in FA Cup history. 117th difference in place with the record. They beat Crystal Palace 10-1 on the money line. What an upset. Wisconsin, 18-1. Beat Michigan in college basketball.
Where did that come from?
Incredible.
Wisconsin's had a down year. I guess Michigan struggled against Penn State the game before that.
Yeah.
But also this goes to show you that the three-point shot could be the great equalizer. The Badgers could not miss. I think they hit 15 plus threes in that game.
Yeah.
So you get hot from downtown, anything's possible.
Tampa Bay's won 9 in a row in hockey as well. Lose some. Jags plus 1.5 to minus 1.5. Eagles minus 2.5 up to 6. Packers pick up to 2. No good.
None of the line moves got there. Rams touched 11. No good.
Another one, yeah, good point. And the Ducks have lost 9 in a row. How about this video? This is college and NFL. This has got to stop. Everyone talking about the Eagles and the tush push. You want rugby? This is rugby. Blow the play dead. Play's over. Look at this. That's a 1-yard gain for Allen that turns into a 10-yard gain and takes him down to the 1-yard line as the offensive lineman carries him 10 yards. Give me a break. They got to get rid of that. all this talk about the Eagles and all this. Look at this. The play's over.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Then you got 6 guys, 300 pounds, coming in with a running start and pushing them all the way down.
I will also say, though, again, that Jaguars players gave up on the play. And they probably are they like, all right, well, if I hit them guy right now, am I going to get flagged? Like, what's going to happen? Look at the guys in the back and on the side.
They did.
They moved out of the way.
They did, yeah.
Or try to maybe allow them to score at that point.
Yeah, or also blow the play dead. I mean, what are we doing here? What would you have done there? Just don't take a knee, but maybe fall down at the one and then score on the next one?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, there's a way where the quarterback can take the snap and then just go right down immediately. You don't go back a yard. You just do it right there. Because you think Jacksonville, with no timeouts, they're going to stop 3 straight tush pushes after that? You're out of your mind. Of course not.
Mm-hmm. One bad beat. Anaheim, Buffalo over the weekend, total 6.5, the under. 4 goals scored in the last 4:44.
Ugh.
That's incredible. Sharp Place. You saw the Mr. Poison tweets yesterday. Look for those every weekend. January isn't about volume, it's about precision. Limits rise, mistakes shrink, timing matters more than ever. Powered by advanced AI, connected to proven insider sources, and locked in on the NFL playoffs. You get free reports, alerts, and market-moving insights straight to your inbox or X feed. Jeff and the crew been at it since 2011. Documented results, public logs, transparent receipts. SharpPlays.com, trusted by pros and monitored by the books. Stay ahead of the line this postseason. Visit SharpPlays.com.
Paulie, did you realize? So Matthew Golden was 8-1 to score anytime. First round pick.
His prop was like 14, and it was really low. 14.5 or something ridiculous. Yeah. I know Ozzie and Jordan Scott had it. It was way low.
Did you know that was his first touchdown of the year?
No. Was it?
Uh-huh.
Wow. I did not know that.
Did not score a receiving touchdown the entire season.
Incredible.
He had 29 catches for 361 yards as a first-round pick. Goose egg for the touchdown. Okay. So what do you like in the divisional round? Did you bet anything early?
Broncos beat the Bills. And I just...
Are you saying that because of the injuries?
Yeah, Buffalo, come on. If Josh Allen's going to do this, it'd be a great story. But let's be honest. Josh Allen's laying 1.5, not the Buffalo Bills. I mean, it's just a one-man band. And Cohen lost his mind.
Well, what he has to do here is look across the field and beat Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. He's not going mano-a-mano with Bo Nix. It's the Denver defense, which is a really, really good unit. But it's Bo Nix in the playoffs.
I don't think I'm sure Peyton watched that game and saw what they did against when they ran the ball. And he'll run the ball.
And they will not
Nix in a good situation.
They will not have open receivers all game long against Denver. I don't think anyway that's going to happen. But I did bet them at Pick'em. I'm going to come back on the Broncos at 7.5 on a teaser. Hopefully I can win both bets somehow. Because we have multiple teaser options now. Seahawks down to 1.5. You can get involved with Indiana against Miami if you think. I know it's a college football game. People don't want to tease that stuff.
This is a brutal spot for the 49ers.
It's a horrible job by the NFL.
Yeah, well, I know you want to give the 1 seed the benefit of the doubt and give them an advantage.
Well, they already had the bye week.
That was, yeah, well, they gave them the Saturday game, and they usually give the 1 seed the Saturday game. But it is ridiculous that the Rams and Bears played Saturday, and they're the Sunday game.
Sure, that's the other one, too.
I was going to say, though, the Seattle rushing attack has been phenomenal the last couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
$170 against the Rams, 163 against Carolina, and they ran all over San Francisco. So now even more injuries, short week, and it's going to be tough because they couldn't move the ball in the first meeting. Now you're well rested, and they are not. So horrible spot for the Niners.
It was either on yesterday's Sunday morning tailgate show or Friday's Follow the Money. I can't recall at this point, but you were going over hypothetical lines for the divisional round, and you said the Rams were 4.5-point favorites against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I have a fairly large bet for me on the Bears plus 4.5. That is not a hedge against my Rams future ticket. I look at this completely different. This is a number that is too high.
Yep.
And I don't know if it should be higher than 3, to be honest.
Yep.
Because this Rams team, more on this coming up a little bit later on, but aren't the signs kind of there, like Philadelphia? All year long, couldn't trust them? Well, it hasn't been all year for the Rams because most of the year they were power rated as the best team in the league. I guess they still might be, according to some, but it has not been a good stretch for a month.
Defense has been bad. Special teams has been worse.
Like Nick Whalen said.
Yep.
Bryce, this was supposed to be, okay, we remember what happened the first time we came to Carolina. That's all going to get corrected, not be a problem. We'll take care of this issue, this little pest on our shoe and stomp on him and get rid of him. Never happened. And Bryce Young played the 2 best games of maybe his career against them.
They are horrible. Short yardage. No one throws the ball more on 3rd and 1 than McVay, and it never works. Stafford almost threw a pick on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Puka had to knock the ball away, save an interception.
We're going to go to Pittsburgh coming up next. Mike DeFabo covers the Steelers for The Athletic. How will the Pittsburgh offense plan to attack this ferocious Texas